We're joined by Aaron. How are you doing, Aaron?
Russ, you all right, mate?
Yeah,
Good, thank you.
let me just give a shout out to Human Nutrients because they're proper looking after me. Big shout out to Human Nutrients. If you click the link pinned in the comment section, it'll take you to their website. Pop, pop, bang. How's Aaron?
Oh, good, mate. Yeah, not bad. Busy week. Kids off school, so yeah, juggling a few balls there, mate, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see you've got Super Bean as your thumbnail profile picture. What's he been up to lately? Tell me.
Well, he's back, is he? Mr. Bean is back in
Yeah,
full spin mode. Unbelievable, mate.
yeah.
The
He can't
chat.
help himself, can he?
What I've heard him coming out with yesterday about Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. being a close fight, could have gone either way. It's just nonsense, mate. They're just spinning it again. His actual words, and I quote, were, "We have to have the rematch." Why? He got well beat. Two lads in there living off the dad's name. It were a decent fight for level it were at. Eubank dusted him. Job done. Why do we need to
Yeah,
see it again?
yeah. Bean said it could have gone either way, but why is he talking like that?
It's just to try and make the fight look closer than it was, mate, isn't it? So people buy into it again. It's just absolute nonsense. We just get fed horse manure, don't we?
How
Constantly.
come? How come CompuBox had Eubank landing 150 odds more shots, but yeah, Bean says it could have gone either way. These people are the lowest of the low media guys. They're told what to say, and it's now becoming embarrassing. They are an extension of the promoters. They are in-house media. What sort of media guy who worked at Sky 29 year comes out and says it could have gone either way? What was he watching and what was he smoking?
They're not impartial whatsoever, mate, are they? We're watching a
No,
fight, and I've watched, I'm watching something on screen, and what I'm watching is not a representation of what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
ridiculous, mate. Um,
yeah,
and sometimes you question yourself, don't you? I've watched so many fights back in the last few years that, just to see if I had it right, with what I'm watching right, and I've turned volume off, and they can sway people so much, mate. And if you don't have a basic knowledge of boxing and know what you're watching, they will influence your opinion. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
It's
It's shocking,
it's
isn't it?
not it's not boxing as it used to be. It's not fair. It's not, back in ITV days. It's not. They're not just calling as it is these days. It's all done as you say, because they're an extension at promoters. That DAZN from top to bottom is a complete racket, mate. It's a racket.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, mate. It's now becoming embarrassing because they've done the John Coffey fight with the cat, Usyk, the legend that is Usyk. And they were selling it as we all know, and I keep spouting on about it, as Dubois were robbed in the first fight and costing the low blow and blah, blah, blah. And he was just getting his range and he's knocking everybody out. Look, he knocked Miller out, a fat man. He knocked Hrgovic out, a plank of wood. And he knocked Joshua out, a shot fighter. That don't mean you're going to turn a fight around that you lost every round the last time. And that's how they sold it to us. And everybody played the parts, didn't they? All the main YouTubers and all the main media people, they all went into bat for Dubois, but knowing deep, deep down, deep, and I mean deep, that he were going to get absolutely bladdered. And he did. And we called it, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, we can see it a mile away, couldn't we? I mean, they're hanging on for tidbits now to sell a narrative. It's any little thing they can grasp hold of. You know, Oh, Dillian White didn't have a bath night before he fought Joshua, so he's a fantastic fighter. It's just have stuff like that, isn't it? Gad going around people asking people if they had a shower before the fighting, and it's just absolute nonsense. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff they're coming out with, the questions they're asking, the questions they're not asking, um, and they're blowing some of these fighters up out of all proportion. I mean, we've got Atuma versus Dillian White next week. Now, look. In my opinion, Dillian White's a busted flush. He's trained really well for this fight. He looks in great condition. There's a big question mark over that, having known that he's failed tests 4 times previously. But, we're now told that Dillian White's in the shape of his life and he's still got plenty in the tank. And, you know, you know, realistically, I can't see any way Atuma don't bladder him in a couple of rounds. I just don't see how he's not going to have the speed, the edge, the youth, and the power to do a job on him.
Yeah.
There's question marks. There's question marks, mate. Obviously, I mean, Dillian White has got that left hook. He can punch. He has been at a decent level. Can Atuma take a shot? We're not sure yet, but you know, they're just all next week. They'll just build it up, won't they, mate? He'll be next coming to George Foreman by end of week. Why,
He'll be
won't he?
calling Usyk out after he does Dillian.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's way too soon for him, isn't it? Need to build him. Way too soon.
Bricktop's not going to risk him at this stage of his career, surely, man. Unless they're desperate.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of guys there that they can throw him in with. Like I've said, keep him at that kind of White level. Do you think if Dave Allen comes through, they might give him Atuma?
If Dave Allen loses to Makhmedov, they'll put him in with anybody that'll pay David. He won't be bothered, David.
But what if he wins, Russ?
Well, it's one of them, isn't it? If he wins, if he beats
Because they're
Makhmedov,
talking. I mean, I can't really see him beating Makhmedov, to be honest with you. I think it's a very tough fight for Dave. I'd love him to win it. He can win it, but I'm not so sure. But looking at the playing field as we've got at the moment, Atuma, I mean, he's too early for him to go in with Katbayel, someone like that, isn't it? Is it too early for him to go in with? Is it too early for him to go in with Parker? I suppose we'll know more next week. I suppose, won't we?
Parker's a bit early for him, mate. Surely to go. He's not that. Look, how many rounds has Moses Atuma had as a professional fighter? Right, he's had 25 rounds. So if he does Dillian White in 5 rounds, he'll have had 30 rounds, and then they're going to be screaming for Usyk. And he's had 30 rounds as a pro. Get the hell out of here, you idiots who are calling for him to get in there with Usyk. He could end up getting ruined forever.
Yeah, I think what you want to be putting him in with is like maybe Hrgovic, Joyce, Chisora, people like that. Just let him get a few more wins under his belt because he can beat all them handily. If he does a good number on Dillian White, I don't see how he don't come through all them fights. Baby Millers, people like that, Jared Andersons, these types.
People like Moses Atoma, right? They're knocking everybody out more or less on his CV. He's knocked 10 out of 12 out, right? Once they get hit, most of them, we're not saying this kid, but most of them, when they get hit, they think, oh, I didn't like that. That's not in the script. And they become flat track bullies, a bit like Daniel Dubois. Every time somebody stuck it on him, he's looked for a way out. He was looking for a way out in the arena fight. That's why the bell got banged early, didn't it? For 15, 16 seconds early after when he got dropped, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kevin Arena fight. So he was looking for a way out against Joe Joyce, which he did get. He was looking for a way out against Usyk twice. Now, Shane McGuigan saved his bacon in that Lorena fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, mate. But he needs to be hit first, then we'll judge him, can't we?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of questions to be answered next week, regards where he's at. But there's also going to be question marks about how far down that hill has Dillian come. But he does look in great shape, which, who knows what he's been up to in camp to look as well as he does. But I've never seen him look so trim as I did yesterday when he was training. He does look like he's hungry and he's coming to win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which probably weren't in the script for Frank Warren. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they didn't expect that. They might come up short, mate. You never know.
Oh, Moses, mine.
Yeah, you never know. I expect him to come through. As I say, he's got youth, edge, and speed on White. But until you throw someone in the Shark Tank, you don't know, do you, mate? And that's where we're at really at the moment. But as I say, in a week or two's time, we'll have a better gauge, won't we, of where Atuma is and what kind of a prospect he's going to be.
Yeah.
Still early, very early days.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But they don't need to be rushed, that kid. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
It doesn't need to be rushed. They've got to wait while Usyk's gone before anybody can be the man. But they're already trying to split the belts apart. They WBO acted first, didn't they? Telling him he's got
Yeah.
to start talks within 28 days with Parker. But Parker's on shelf now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's the Warren Boxing Organisation for you, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
they're just staying true to the guy who's helped prop them up for years on end.
Yeah. What's Flex been up to? What's he been saying lately?
Yeah, it was a bit of an interview yesterday. It was mentioned Ben Shalom got mentioned on there, and they gave Oldie Harrison a bit of stick as well, actually, which I thought were a
Who
bit
did
uncalled
Flex?
for. Yeah, he dug him out saying he were a quitter and whatnot. But
Well,
do you know
he's
what?
got some talk. He's got some talk, hasn't he, on him? When he quit after 5 seconds, it ring as an amateur, Dominic. So he
Mm.
tried to get his Senate mix to train Audley Harrison. So him and his old man. So they need to pipe down. And once they realised Audley weren't interested, he's done nothing but hammer him. Now I noticed that people are saying that he's hanging out at back of John Coffey, saying he didn't quit and that. Is that right?
Yeah, he did say that in his opinion he didn't quit. So is
What
he
did he do
looking?
then? Because the whole world said he quit. But he wants to stay mixed so he can get crumbs from Dubois, doesn't he, off the plate?
Well, maybe they're looking now for a big name in that gym because there's not a lot happening down there, is there? So maybe Dubois quite attractive to them now. He's a free agent as such because Daddy Don's gone, hasn't he?
Well, they should have keys if they're not training anybody. They've had that gym 49 years and they've been milking it 49 years. And how many champions have they had? One a decade?
Hey, it's
Well, they
been a
had five
successful.
world champions in 49 years.
It's been a successful gym, hasn't it?
What, five world champions in 49 years? 49 years worth of funding. Eh? Is that successful?
Well, if you look at the spectrum of trainers in this country,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
it is, isn't it?
I suppose,
You
yeah,
know what I
but
mean?
five world champions, it's like a needle in an haystack job, isn't it? If I was spraying cars 49 year and I only completed five resprays, I'm not a car sprayer, am I?
No, but I will say one thing for them down there. They do bring them through. They've had a couple that aren't from there, like Billy Joe, but there's some, there's some gyms in this country, your Ben Davison's, whatever, they can attach themselves to world champions. He talks a really good game, Ben Davison, but who's he brought through from scratch? How many,
Who's Bombay Dave had from scratch?
there we go.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's back on the scene today doing sermons. Bombay Dave, pop pop bang.
Yeah, I don't watch Bombay because he's got quite a colourful past from what you've touched on previous. So I try not to listen to Bombay Dave, but I saw he did a 30-minute sit down job, didn't he? What was that all about?
What's he got to talk about? He needs to come out and tell us what's happening with Opie Price because he's been
He
out at
does,
ring
yeah.
2 years in October, Opie, and nobody's saying a word about him. Is he serving a silent one or not? Why is the radio silence on Opie Price? What did he say? He's going to be the new Roberto Duran. Well, where's the news about Roberto Duran then?
Well, I mean, who else has he got down there now? They've all seemed to leave him, haven't they? Is he training anyone?
I don't know. There's a lot of people doing a lot of talking, but not a lot of training. I keep seeing
Mm.
these trainers, not going to mention any name, doing interview after interview after interview, but the fighters are not fighting. Big fighting men are not fighting, and the trainers, all they're doing is chatting a load of shit on social media. Get some training done, I say.
Yeah, I mean, who have we got really, realistically, that's coming through? Um, I mean, there's a lot of inactive fighters. Josh Kelly, another one. Where's he gone? What's he doing?
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
know? You
He's
can
we
pluck up.
Adam Boo, the Dark Lord.
Well, he's talking up David Adelaide, isn't he, at the moment, which is next week as well. That's a very. I'm probably more interested in that fight than I am the main event, to be honest with you. Hrgovic versus Adelaide. I think that's a great fight. Could be coming of age
Hrgovic
stuff.
Adelaide.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's testing himself, David Adelaide, and he's a warrior.
Yeah, he's stepping up, mate. I'm impressed with the guy. He's not stuck around fight. I know he didn't have a great. He had a couple of great performances with Wardley, but he's pushed Wardley as well as anyone really. up till he got stopped, and he's an ice man, isn't he? And Hrgovic, he can be broken down. So if he goes to town on him, Adelaide, you never know, do you? It's an
Yeah.
interesting step up. It's a hell of a step up for him. It's a big step up. Don't get me wrong, but I've never been that sold on Hrgovic, to be quite honest with you. I think he's got a Euro style and he's quite limited and he can be got at. So yeah, I give him a good chance in that fight.
Okay. Right. Elmer Fudd and Mark Tibbs have split up, as we know, because we broke the story, didn't we, weeks ago? It turns out that Elmer's doing the rounds amongst the chosen few YouTubers we access, talking about the split, especially on seconds out. Now, I haven't seen that yet, but it just looks to me like he's a programmed cyborg, from outside, playing the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
he certainly is.
Mark Tibbs come out and he said he advised them it were out his hands, which is what I said 5 weeks ago. Mark Tibbs said, I told them you don't need David Allen rematch, you need a few more, but it were out his hands. They wanted to fight, so he just had to get him ready. Do you think Elmer's damaged goods now? Plus, he's at Tony Sims' gym, and that gym's got a bad reputation, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, I've noticed he's gone to the Sims. So it'll be interesting to see how his performance has improved now he's at that gym. For controversial reasons we've mentioned previously, allegedly. So
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So we'll see what happens to his physique. We'll see what happens to his power. I'm not sure there's really anyone can do much with Fisher, to be honest with you. He's a young kid, he's raw, but you've got to have an element of natural ability. And to me, he's an athlete. He's a rugby player who's been put in a boxing ring. He's not a boxer. He's not a natural boxer. He doesn't seem to be a natural fighter to me either. He's very heavy on them feet and he tries to get on his toes and he just don't work for him. I've noticed they're trying to speed him up at Sims's already. Maybe they might take they might take a bit of weight off him. Maybe I don't know. We'll have to see. As I say, it's an interesting one. It's funny how it's panic stations now with him, isn't it? They've got one more run, haven't they, really, at this before he gets bladdered again by somebody half decent. So they've really, they've doubled down on it now and they've put him in that Matchroom gym. It's like a last chance saloon for him, that. So that speaks volumes to me. I'll be keeping a keen eye on what he's looking like.
Well, when they beat Babic and won that area belt, I think it went to their heads. The mother started doing interviews. Is she called Charlotte fucking Fudd or something? She started thinking she was Jackie Callum, and he started thinking that it was Bob Arum, Daddy Fudd. Do you know what I mean? Elmo was strutting around. He's won an area belt that were a gift against a very small fighter in Babic. Do you know what I mean? But it went to the head, and like I said, they took that Rhino fight. Why they took that rematch, I don't know. But it is what it is, isn't it?
I think Daddy Fudd, it just went to his head, didn't it? And that carry on with Bean, when he called Bean out and Spencer Oliver, he made an absolute tit of himself, didn't he, mate? He exposed himself for what an arrogant tool he is. And he knows nothing about this sport. You keep your mouth shut and you prove it in ring. This talking and this bosh this and bosh that and Chinese balls. Yeah, absolute nonsense. You can't be having that round you when you're coming through as a professional boxer. You just can't. It's too much noise. And yeah, they've got swept up in it, mate, haven't they? They've made a few quid. And fair play to them. No one's begrudging them that, mate. But it comes a point when you got to look at mirror. Like you always say, the man in the mirror moment. And Fisher's got to ask himself some really tough questions now. Whether or not he wants to carry on. I guess he does. He's a tough game kid. I'll give him that. But ability for me, it's lacking. We'll see what Simses can do with him, but I'm not going to be sold on that one. Might be some extracurricular things going off down there allegedly. So we'll see, won't we?
What do you think about the Lazy Rhino being ranked WBA number 8 and Elmer Fudd WBO number 15? What is going on here?
On what merit? On what merit, mate?
Oh, I don't know. Elmer Fudd's best wins, Babbitt, right, and for an area belt, and he's since been beat. And he against a low rank guy in Rhino. Rhino's beat him. He's now WPA number 8. I don't understand where that what that means. He's making a mockery of the rankings, aren't they?
Well, I mean, it's just promoters lining up their own men, isn't it? It's just it's corruption on a massive scale from top to bottom in this sport, as we always say. It's never going to change, mate. It's always the way it is. This way it's always been. I mean, even Dave Allen's come out and said they don't know how he's number 8, hasn't he? You know.
Oh yeah, well, he's had to do that. He's had to piss off Bonfire straight away so he don't get carried away running around saying, "Well, yeah, I deserve number 8 ranking." You remember when Krusher Benn got inserted at number 5 at WBC back in the day, and everybody were like, "What's going on here?"
He's still there at welterweight. He's not boxed at welterweight for coming up 3 years.
He
never boxed for an area title.
He hadn't boxed at welterweight for 3 years, 4 months.
Right. So coming up 4 years by the time he gets back in ring with Eubank, aren't we? Yeah. So are they still going to call him a welterweight when he's not boxed there for 4 years in build-up? They will do, won't they? The spin doctors. They'll be at it again. It's disgusting, mate. It just makes a mockery at sport, all of it. Don't even start me on the drug issues with him. What are we watching, mate? Do you know what I mean? I'm watching a sport here, and it's absolutely laughable. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Many times now, I've said I'm not watching anymore. Unfortunately, I'm addicted to sport. It's been my life. But yeah, it's not a good place, mate. It's not good at all. And we're just being took for a ride. And it's this Jake Paul nonsense again. £250 million fight, Anthony Joshua.
What's going on here, mate? What's going on? What's going on here with that? Hey, what is going on?
They're still pushing it, aren't they? We've not heard anything about AJ. He's not come out and said it's never going to happen. I'm a professional boxer. I'm a former two-time heavyweight world champion. Absolutely laughable. I mean, could you imagine if they'd have said to somebody like Larry Holmes, "You're going to be fighting Pee Wee Herman or something like that"? Could you imagine what he'd have said? He'd laughed it out of town, wouldn't he?
Oh, tell me about it.
Go on. Sorry, mate. You mentioned on Tommy Fury yesterday, didn't you? He's got a better shout at AJ than Jake Paul. Rightly so. He has.
Tommy Fury's a little cock. He's a little cock who can't fight for toffee, but he's got a win over Jake Paul. So if they're trying to fill the boots, Jake Paul's lot with a big meat fight. Well, Tommy Fury deserves a big meat fight because he's already done Jake Paul and he beat him comfortably, didn't he?
Yeah, there's more to sell that on, isn't there? Because there's the Fury rivalry and there's Big John. We can get Big John in mix, can't we? Throwing tables about and ripping his shirt off and doing whatever he wants to do.
If Joshua fills little Tommy Fumbles in, but the big GK, the big dosser, Luke Partridge, he'll be saying, "You beat my stepbrother up, I'm going to beat you up," and then they can write the scripts like WWE.
You know what you'd get, don't you?
What?
You'd probably get the older Paul brother. What's his name? Can't remember his name now. Big curly hair. That older one who fought Mayweather. You'd probably get him and Fury before you got AJ and Fury, mate.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, I just can't see. They are going to drain that as long as they can, as long as possible. They're going to keep that rolling. We're not going to have that Fury AJ fight for another 3 years yet, until they're absolutely hanging on, mate. They just want paydays. It's just sickening.
Yeah, it is, mate. It is. Anthony Yarde and Benavidez. TalkSport are pushing that now, aren't they? Because Bricktop's probably told them to. How do you see that fight going? And do you like Anthony Yarde?
I like Yarde as a person. I think he's a nice kid, yeah.
I do.
He comes across really well, mate. And I liked it when they had the interview and Tunde and... sorry, who else were it now? Tunde and his trainer and... I can't remember who were fighting now. Were it Manchester kid?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody name now. Terrible with names, aren't
Pat Barrett.
Lyndon Arthur, yeah, Pat Barrett. So Pat Barrett and Tunde were going at each other, and I liked it how Yarde just came in, calmed it down, said, "Look, you're not the fighting men today. We're fighting each other. Let's calm things down. Let's, get on with fight, which I thought were great. But yeah, he's one of them into Yarde. He's either in a firefight or he's fighting bin men. So there's not much in between. I know he's had like the midway fights we are for a couple of times, 3 times now. Into the trilogy, haven't they? So he's had them, but that's not really going to put you in good stead for Benavidez. So I think he'll get beat handily in that fight. I think he's the man of the division, to be honest with you. There's a reason why Canelo won't fight him. So yeah, I see him getting beat in that fight. Probably stop mate down the stretch, but fair play to him for going in there and getting a go. But yeah, I'd like to see him back. You know, the payday's there, but I'd like to see more at his level, like in with Boazzi or Smith, to be honest with you, because he's taking too much of a leap there, Benavidez. But you know, the payday's there, fights on the table, and you got to take your hat off to him. He's willing to go in there and take it. He's not like half of these who won't take the fight. He'll jump in with anybody. So we've got to show some respect to Anthony Yarde for that, haven't we?
Yeah, do you think Tunde's done well for Yard's career?
Um, in monetary terms, yes. In terms of progressing him as a fighter and bringing him through properly, absolutely not. No, he's had a potential world class talent there on his hands, and he's effectively ruined him in my opinion. He could have been a lot further on than he is now. He should have realistically, with the talent he's got, if it had been with a proper trainer, he could have mopped up in Britain, and he could have been ready now to actually have a proper go at a world title. But because he's not been brought through properly, and he's had these marking time fights, and he's not fought. You know, he's gone from top level to back to bottom level, basement level. He's not progressed properly, and they've not brought him through properly. He's not had the right fights at the right time, mate. You know, a bit like Froch did when he came through. So yeah, I think he's ruined him in terms of the talent and his potential. I think he's actually at his ceiling now, Anthony Yarde. I think he's at his peak. I don't think he'll get any better, mate.
Do you think that Yard's trainers filled his boots and concentrated on filling his boots more than progressing Yard as a fighter?
Yeah, he's definitely looked at, getting these Adidas deals and big paydays. Let's fly out to Russia and we'll fight Kovalev and we'll shut you in with Bertabiev. Even if you win or not, give a good account yourself. I mean, they're selling us that now and saying he's give Bertabiev his hardest fight, which is nonsense for a start. Callum Johnson give him murders early on in that fight. Just because he went a few more rounds doesn't mean he give him a tougher fight. He probably had one good round in that fight, Yard. I don't want to take too much away from Yard. I think he's a good kid and he's game and he'll go in with anyone, and I've got to respect that. But in terms of Tunde, no, he's not done a great job for him in the ring. He's maybe made him some money out of it, which is I suppose 50% of it, isn't it? So I'm going to give him 50 out of 50. Really, Tunde he's earned his man some money, but he's effectively ruined him in a way.
You reckon?
Yeah, like I say, I think he could have come on with a proper trainer, putting the right fights at the right time. I think he could have been a real world talent, Yard. But he spent too many years inactive or fighting bums and not taking the right fights.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Ben Shalom, what's gone on there, do you think, Aaron?
Are they talking about a red button? Have you heard that one? BBC red button.
I went with Big Ron to, is it the Quays, Manchester, where the BBC is? We went there, and that was 2017, 2016, somewhere around about then. And they were looking at doing performance related boxing on BBC iPlayer because Dennis was the last promoter to put professional fights on BBC. I think it was Clinton Woods against some Norway guy or Denmark guy, I forget now. Is it Ola Clemenson or something like that? Clinton Woods in '04 was the last BBC show. So we got in there, went there, but it all fizzled out. It were all performance related and all that, and they were absolute messes. So I don't really see anything happening with that. I just see it being a smokescreen. And does anybody even watch BBC iPlayer anyway? Because it's hard to connect to it if you've not got a TV license, isn't it? If you remember, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of dead BBC as such, isn't it?
Yeah. bit like Dennis's stable.
Well, I think with Benny, the problem is now he's going to lose his top names. He's lost Boatsi. You'd imagine Whittaker's going to leave. Big Freeze will go. Has he still got Caroline Dubois? I think she'll probably disappear to Jake Paul, like a lot of them seem to be doing, these women fighters. So he's going to lose, 4 or 5 big names, and then it's a rebuild, isn't it? And he's going to have to go back to small hall, mate, and do it tough way. If he ain't got TV, he's going to have to come through hard way. And he's had his leg up, mate, and he's dropped the bag, hasn't he, as they say. He's fumbled it. He had it there. For whatever reason, it's not worked. I mean, a lot of that's probably down to Bricktop and Hills. Putting stoppers on stuff and making life hard work for him. They don't allowed him to come through. But it's dog eat dog, innit, mate? It's business. You've got to be tough out there, haven't you? You've got to show a bit of resilience, as I said, over the week. So, do I care about him? Not at all. Do I want to see him do well? Not really bothered. I've nothing against him. It's one of them. Will we miss him? I don't think we will.
You're asking questions and answering him. You send, mate, what's going on here, Aaron? His tail wagging dog.
I'm sorry, mate.
You're getting like that, James.
Oh no! Don't put me in that bracket,
We've
mate.
remap wheelchair, pop, pop, bang.
Well, don't put me in that bracket, mate.
What, in remap wheelchair bracket? Driving around in your Austin Princess looking for women with gigantic jugs. Hey, stalking streets of Salford like Fred West. Fred and Rose. Only joking. We love James, really. Okay. Do you think that Eddie Hills, the Iceman, and Bricktop, do you think both their companies might merge? Just for the boxing, that is.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have said no chance, wouldn't you? 5 years ago, but you never know, do you? Possibly, mate.
A lot of spitting shower Aaron, aren't they?
Well, it's violence, it, mate.
Frank was my friend. I'm friends with George and Francis as well. We're friends.
I noticed they're all sucking up to Triple T the other day when it was birthday.
Oh my God. Listen, mate, I'm not being funny, but the amount of people in the boxing industry who was sending tweets and Instagram things and whatever and shout outs to Turkey was totally and utterly embarrassing. These are grown men. Totally embarrassing. Did you see that video that Big Joe Egan put out begging for Turkey to put the money up for him and Pinocchio, Pop Pop Bang to fight? Did you see it?
No, I've missed that one, unfortunately.
It's on Joe Egan's Instagram. It's a crap boring story now, but it was like his little 5-minute message to Triple T, Tea Towel Turkey. There you go.
He won't even know who he is, will he? He'll have no clue who he is.
This guy here, Big Joe Egan, 30-year retired boxer, age 60, wanted to fight a man 60 odd. What is that? What is that? Pair of them have never had a stoppage in their life. The feather duster men. Who's going to want to pay them to fight? My God. It's become embarrassing. Big Joe Egan can't even get his coat on, mate. Can't even turn right. He couldn't even do a 3-point turn in his car if he had to move his head. He's that thick and stupid. You know what? What amazes me? These are grown men, right? But the chance of getting a few quid and they all lose their minds, don't they?
Probably best off getting him a job as security on some of his shows. That'd be best bet for him, wouldn't it? Just give him a job on security, walking fighters out.
Do you know why I give most respect to Joe Gallagher? Do you know why? He was dealing with Saudis 2 years before it all come out, and he kept it to himself. And he was told to keep it to himself. And do you know what? He did.
Yeah, he could have thrown that in their face, couldn't he?
He kept it to himself.
Yeah, when Eddie literally tried to blackmail him out of working,
Yeah.
You know, he tried to push him out at sport, didn't he? Completely.
Yeah, he dug his
Uh,
heels in.
yeah, and then you've got Bellew, people like that coming out saying, "Oh, Joe gets well," and blah blah blah. But he's not my favourite person. I mean, you don't need to say stuff like that, do you? And
Listen, oh.
yeah, just wrong uns, mate. Really, really not.
You know what
Not very nice.
disgusts me about all that, Aaron, if I can get a word in? Do you know what disgusts me? The Smiths. They left, didn't they, when they were told to buy Eddie Hills? You know what I mean?
Mm.
They left. Crawler didn't, though, and Quigg, but the Smiths did, didn't they? They showed what they are about. Ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths, the Beatles of boxing.
I mean, Paul's got his fingers in pie, hasn't he? Which Saudis? It seems he's got one of their fighters he's training at the minute.
Big Paul Smith.
Yeah, Smigger.
Well, he's put himself out there, hasn't he? He's been out there weeks licking arsehole. Do you know what I mean? He does talk a bit of sense, actually, at times, but talking about diets and all that other day and training and how to train well. You weighed half a stone heavier on the Wednesday, the week you fought Andre Ward. Why couldn't you knock that half a stone off from Wednesday till Saturday? There were plenty of time. £2 a day, he'd have done it. So that's my opinion on him. He never did it in his career when it mattered. He just turned up for money against Ward, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he should have been a middleweight, Smith. Really, he was never a super middleweight. He just couldn't stop eating bags of crisps. That's what I've heard about him. He's a crisp monster,
Listen, mate, let me
apparently.
tell you this about Smithy. I used to follow Smithy when he was a middleweight. Because, you know that program, The Contender, in that. So I thought I'll get behind Smithy. He got beat by Stevie Bendel. Then all of a sudden he decided, oh, I'm a super middleweight. Well, he weren't icing people at middleweight. So why would you move up to super middle if you can't ice them at middleweight? Brain of Britain. Ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths. Do you know what I mean? So he's not my cup of tea. And best thing about it is, I actually thought he were all right, Paul Smith, and I sent him a good luck message against Ward because I wanted him to fill Ward in. So I don't like Ward because he beat Froch. And we blocked me. And I thought, wow, there you go, Paul Smith. You know what I mean? The man of reason. Oh, it is what it is, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, I can't understand why he blocked you for sending a good luck message, but there you go.
Did it to my other mate, Clive, as well. He blocked him, and we were like, wow, wow. And he probably knew that he probably thought that people were taking piss. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So, but anyway, what can you do? What you got on plan for the rest of today, Aaron?
I've got a little bit of work to do. Going to get some dinner, mate. Not training today. I'm having a day off. I know you said you were, but yeah, I'm gonna have a chilled one today, mate. I think.
Yeah, I'm having a chilled one today. So, okie dokie. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Aaron. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You're always up to date on current events. It reminds me when I used to have, who is it with Magnum Tash on here? He used to come on here and I used to, you watch boxing on Saturday? He went, no, I didn't watch it. And I was like, wow, but at least you're up to date. So, okie dokie. Keep
Yeah,
punching,
cheers,
Aaron.
mate.
Have a great day.
Cheers, pal. Thanks for having us on,
Thank you.
Rusta.
No problem. Anytime, kid. Anytime. Pop, pop, bang. Right, that were Aaron from Yorkshire. Women loving men want to play golf with him. That's about it, really. I'm off to make me an Americano coffee now with 2 sweet eggs. I might have some beans on toast. I'm not doing note today. I'm just going to be a dosser, big dosser. Well, booyaka. Peace out. Don't forget to click on the link pinned in the comment section. It'll take you straight to the website, Human Nutrients. Go and treat yourself. Booyaka.